Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're mourning the loss of yet another great Australian with the death of Olivia Newton-John at the age of 73. Now, apart from being a globally successful entertainer, Newton-John was an advocate who fought a 3-decade battle to raise awareness about breast cancer after she was first diagnosed with the disease back in 1992. Her cancer returned twice, in 2013 and then in 2017 when it eventually spread. Newton-John's diagnosis inspired her to create the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Wellness and Research Centre in Melbourne. The centre not only treats cancer but also carries out breakthrough research and clinical trials. Joining me now is Sally Capp, the Lord Mayor of Melbourne. She also sits on the board of the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Research Institute. Thanks for joining us, Sally. First up, your thoughts about the passing of a great Australian from a personal point of view.
Yeah, so sad, Chris, to have icons like Olivia that dedicated so much of their time for community good, and in this case particularly around breast cancer, both improving the quality of life for patients and breakthrough research. To lose Olivia is just so sad.
Yeah, it is very sad, but if we want to look at some of the positive work she did along the way for the breast cancer cause, one of the first things she did was confront the disease, have surgery and treatment early on, which obviously is tough, and then reclaim her life. She had great success after that for some time.
Exactly, Chris, and I think to your point, for all of us as individuals and as a community to continue her amazing legacy is really where the focus should be now. She's an absolute role model that shared so much of her personal story so that others could feel comforted and also inspired. She was so compassionate and full of hope, which we saw through the Wellness Centre with that focus on quality of life and treatment. And then the influence of her grandfather as a Nobel laureate and her absolute dedication to science and scientific outcomes has meant that the Cancer Research Institute is conducting that breakthrough research and clinical trials. All of those elements are deserving of ongoing energy and investment to know that everything she did during her brilliant life will continue to deliver positive outcomes.
Yeah, it's the example in that she fought the disease and did so much while she was battling it. It got her in the end, but it took 3 decades, and she did so much in that intervening time. Can you tell us about the personal connection between her and those Melbourne facilities? I know she's visited, and just how engaged was she in it, and how much do people who work there appreciate that?
Chris, it actually gives me shivers to think of how incredible she was with both the Wellness Centre and the Cancer Research Institute. She invested so much personally into both of the facilities. Often her work went completely unknown to the broader community. She would often walk around the Wellness Centre very quietly, talking individually to patients, particularly speaking with nursing and medical staff to provide encouragement there also, without any fanfare, any media or any broader knowledge of that. In terms of the Cancer Research Institute, her genuine interest, I mean, everything from long strategy days looking at branding and messaging through to literally being in the research labs with a white coat with such an incredible interest and depth of knowledge to the sort of work that was being conducted. It's a very personal imprint that she has left there at the Wellness Centre and part of the Research Institute that will have an impression and an impact for a long time to come.
Sally Capp, thanks so much for sharing your insights with us. Sally Capp there, who's the Lord Mayor of Melbourne. And, you know, I think we all suspected that Olivia Newton-John was the sort of person who would be there in the Wellness Centre, talking to the patients and talking to the staff without the media, without any drama, just helping out and giving her personal support. But isn't it lovely to hear from someone who knows, someone who's involved in that, that's exactly the sort of thing Olivia Newton-John did. What a great Aussie she was.